Welcome again to the podcast Leaders on the Mic. This podcast is about leaders, but there are many leaders and they're great and we respect them. But we only invite the ones that are using their voice to create a change. Those are the leaders that we want. That's why it's called Leaders on the Mic. Because, these people are not afraid to use their fame, to use their power, to create a society that is better, to create a better world for everybody. So in this case, we have this incredible actor, Cristo Fernandez. I don't know about you guys, but I am a huge fan of Ted Lasso because of Cristo, right? Dani Rojas is definitely the reason why I tune in. I'm honored, Cristo, to have you.
Thank you for the lovely words. Muchos saludos, bienvenidos amigos de Leaders on the Mic. And thank you for having me. Thank you for the beautiful words. And yeah, thank you for considering me a leader. And I think, but you're right. Like, I think one of the biggest lessons to me, having been part, for example, of Ted Lasso, which was my first professional show and the one that truly opened me doors, was realizing the power and the responsibility we have in what we create and what we do. Because in this case, for Ted Lasso came out in the pandemic, and I have both people that told me that in those dark times, Ted Lasso really helped them. And in this case, Dani Rojas gave them hope and gave them life. And that was like shocking in the moment for me, but also made me aware of that what we do can change people's lives. And in terms of who I am and where I come from, being a Latino and from Mexico and having lots of Latinos telling me, thank you for being part of this show. Thank you for representing me. Thank you for the way Dani Rojas was portrayed and the fact that, and I am grateful with the creators that they let me and they chose me and that Dani Rojas, instead of pretending to be from wherever he was from, Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, just like me. Originally, it was like he was gonna be from Iceland. Can you believe?
No way! Oh my God!
It was gonna be Gunnar, but I'm grateful they decided that it should be Dani Rojas from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. So, and it's true because if you wanted to choose a joyful, charismatic, good vibes person, it needed to be from a Latino, no?
You're right.
Or a Latina.
So. And it had to be you.
Yeah,
because you are that.
Gracias.
You're you come into a room and it's like everything enlightens with your smile and with your energy. And you have that magic that you're able to transmit that on camera. How do you do it on purpose? Do you just do it? How do you do it?
Gracias. No, I think in my case, as an actor, the dream is one day and I have that dream, I want to one day play a character where I am, I do an amazing American accent and I gain weight and then I walk strangely and I completely transform and change myself, right? Because I'm an actor and I like challenges.
Yeah.
But when you start and I believe that the actors and the people I admire, it's because they are truthful to who they are, and there's always something about them in each character. And for me, that I'm new in the industry, and I learned this from going away from my hometown, and I lived in the UK 4 years before Ted Lasso, and I was telling this in our panel that being away and really pushing myself in terms of being in another country with another language and another accent and the bad food, because in the UK it's not easy to find good food. But that's why I learned from different cultures, and there's amazing Korean, amazing Palestinian, amazing... I learned a lot from other cultures, but I also, by learning from other cultures, embraced my own culture.
Exactly.
And that was my superpower.
Oh my God, I love that.
Forget whether I'm good actor or not, whether I have talent or not. I think what gave me the opportunities is that I work harder than anyone else, and I go to the room and say gracias, and I go with a smile, and I do my job, and I say gracias with a tequila, and then I leave a print just by being authentic to who I am, and then they go like, ahí viene el mexicano. Blah, 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 el mexicano, like el mariachi, and those type of things.
With
really,
pride.
With pride.
Yeah.
And they leave a print. People remember that. And that's me because I'm Mexican, but like I met people from, again, Palestinian and I learned from their food and Korean and whatever, it's their culture. And
Yeah.
But in my case, embracing my culture, embracing who I am, that opened me doors, and that's why the creators saw that, and thankfully they never found someone from Iceland and decided to give me the opportunity and
I
also
don't think it's that they didn't find something right. They saw you and you charmed them, and they wanted you. I'm completely sure.
Thank you.
I'm completely sure. Because plus, you are also a soccer player.
Well, yes.
You're able to have these incredible scenes where you're like,
Doing my own stunts
Yeah,
and playing football, soccer, that was my life. And yeah, before an actor or an artist or a filmmaker, I was a sportsman, and that was my life. And also from that example, I believe in discipline, I believe in repetition, and I believe in doing it and failing. And just like in my case, I've personally failed big time when my football soccer dream didn't come true. And I learned from mistakes, and I learned that I needed to get out of my comfort zone. I didn't do that in my athlete days. So with this new dream, I pushed myself and got out of Guadalajara and out of my comfort zone. And I would have never imagined that everything happens for a reason, because my opportunity comes out of football soccer. And
yeah, exactly.
and that's a lesson I learned, and I share, that everything, even the worst things, happen for a reason. And
Absolutely. You really reflect that in terms of, you have this faith in people. I don't know your personal faith, but you have faith in people. You have a really great attitude. And so that makes you special. And again, you're unapologetically Mexican. And you don't have to choose. You can be unapologetically Mexican and you also appreciate other cultures. And I think that's what happens with Latinos in general, right? Specifically, I'm Mexican too, so I know for sure with Mexicans. When we see people coming into our country in Mexico, you welcome them. You see somebody with an accent and you actually appreciate it. Where are you coming from? And thanks for being here. And I love that you're investing in being in our country. So I think that is important also for the content that you're doing, right? Your shows, everything is like you reflect our culture in such a positive way. And that's important because we have a lot of bad representation. Right? Sometimes the people that are really included in media are either, for example, in news, it's only bad news. They never cover a great success story of Latinos. In entertainment, it's like narcos or gang members or, a bad leader or, criminals. And so that's like, I think genuinely in your case, every role that you do is helping us to have a better portrayal of us. Because as you know, we only have 4% of scripted shows.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because we are 20% of the population. All Latin America, your content travels worldly. Your content is not only for the United States.
Yeah.
And so together with Latin America, you're a very important part of the global market. So how do you see that? Like, do you feel in that regard a little bit of responsibility, for us, for all our Latin Americans? Or is it like, or you just act and you say, hey, I'm going to do the best for, that I can?
No, like, I mean, for example, my mother right now in Guadalajara, she's the biggest fan of Korean TV shows.
I love that.
And she's learned so much about Korean culture. And she always tells us to go and have Korean food and have soju. And like those things transcend. Like now, like, and the same for me, like when in Ted Lasso, I bring my Mexican ponche with tequila.
I remember that episode.
Right?
I
and
love it.
But those type of things, and I've had the opportunity to be part of these shows where I am the only Latino, and that has become a responsibility.
Yep.
So wherever I had a moment, and that's why Danny Rojas, like me, has a strong Mexican accent. Like, I know I could push it less if I wanted, but no, like, he needs to be very, 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 very
Yeah.
Mexicano. And, you know, like, and there's a responsibility there. I will be a selfish person if I didn't think that way, I think.
Yep. Yep.
Because one door that opens for me, it needs to open doors for other people. And in my case, what gives me sometimes this career can be lonely, can be hard, because
Yeah.
I am away lots of the time traveling. I'm lucky enough to work with my sister Paloma and
Which is great.
and with my friend Ricardo
Who's
from
also an
Guadalajara.
actress. Yes.
Paloma is an actress too. Ricardo, producer from Guadalajara. And my family and my friends are my batteries,
Yep.
what gives me the energy. And yeah, I have a responsibility with my culture and my background. And when people see me, I want them to know that there's Mexicans and content, and there's stories and there's narratives. There's a lot of narratives that they haven't told
Absolutely.
yet. So.
Family, the fact that you travel with family and that you talk about your mom when you go back to, Guadalajara and everything, that's another part of our culture that is so important.
And that's what Rick was saying, that he was, and with our graphic that you showed us, like, when you have people that are not from that place and you're telling this story, they focus more on the bad things. But when you have people that actually come from the region, they're going to push for family, they're going to push for love, they're going to push for the good values and
they're going to show who really are in all the spectrum, right? I mean, of course, we're not saying that crime doesn't exist in our community, but we're saying that you need to show the whole spectrum of society, right? Like your story, everybody's story here, but not only one.
Exactly.
Because, I think we always call it the tragedy of the single story, which is like the one story of the criminal and nothing else is told.
Yeah.
So you happen to have, the good luck of having roles that are positive with Corina and Acapulco, and you're always the good guy. That's great, but not everybody's that lucky.
Yes.
And so tell us something, because I know that we have to finish soon, but tell us, so you do your job. You're doing your job. We thank you so much because you're doing your job of choosing right, getting the roles that you deserve because you're a good person, etc. But what can we, the audience, do to support the increase of those kind of stories being told, those kind of roles, you being an exception in a team of London, right? Or you being an exception in a family of like bicultural people in Acapulco, or you being this gentleman in the movie of Corina that helps somebody with special needs, through her life journey. Like, what can we do to support those stories?
I mean, truly, like understand the power and if we want to change we need to be part of the change. And as you were saying, like really bring that flag and if I want to see, if like, even I always say, like, sometimes in Mexico, like, instead of going to the big supermarket, go to the corner shop, and instead of buying this, like, I have my t-shirt from Puerto Vallarta and I bought it in the tianguis.
I love
And
that.
like instead of I mean, if I can, I will, but like,
Support
like
our people.
support
Yes,
other
exactly.
people. Like,
use the power of your pocket, right?
Yes, use the power of your pocket to
Yeah.
really understand that. Yeah.
And to support your kind of contents like yours, right? For example, like there may be a show that is winning the Oscar, but it's really bad portrayal of Latinos. Then maybe you don't go see it.
Exactly.
Maybe
Yeah.
But if there's content that is representing us well,
I love the big superheroes stories, but like sometimes also it's worth taking a look at other types of stories, and that's why we were talking that social media and YouTube and all of those things are making a difference nowadays, and they are transforming the industry too, and that's why realizing about that, it's the power they have, the social media, and you know, like things need to change, and if you don't acknowledge that things are changing, then we're on the wrong track, and
Exactly.
and I think it's both the people that create the content and the people that consume. We all have responsibility in terms of how the shape of the story is going to change, and if we really want to change, we all have to be part of it. It cannot just be one side, one person. So I always say, like, encourage people to take a look and consume other things, and I know this by being away. For me, thinking about the UK and being part of London, that is such a cosmopolitan city, I learned a lot from other cultures that I would have never imagined I was gonna meet.
Exactly.
They might have different beliefs.
Yep.
They might have different ways of thinking, but whether I think the same like them, that's another story. But I understood, and that created a more empathy in me. And I think that's what we need in this crazy world we're living. I think if you don't know, then it not necessarily means you're evil. It's just ignorance means you're scared of something that is completely different from you. But once you know it and you talk to this person, these people, you have you open yourself to another world, and you are more empathetic, there's more kind, and that's something we really need in this world, and you only get that by pushing yourself to try and meet what's different from you. And it opens your world, it opens your mind, and that's why I'm grateful our parents that barely speak English. They encourage us to go away and learn English, learn German, push yourself to meet other people, because that makes a difference in you.
Absolutely.
And then by making a difference in you, you make a difference with other people.
Absolutely. And I think that, to close, I think one of the greatest things of also your uniqueness and your special, characteristic is that you really are a global citizen. Even if you're an incredibly proud Mexican, your open mind, your awareness of a global world, your experience in London, but also your languages, the upbringing of your parents that raised you in a city, but you really are your mom is a fan of Korean, series, and like you're open to all this. I think it's part also of your uniqueness, and I see how producers can see that you are such an asset. Cristo.
Thank you, Ana. Gracias.
Thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias.
No,
Te lo agradecemos
gracias.
muchísimo. Estamos felices de tenerte.
Gracias.
Te deseamos todo el éxito del mundo. Ya tenemos muchas ganas de ver muchas películas y muchos shows tuyos. Y bueno, muchísimas gracias por estar aquí.
No, gracias, Ana. Thank you. Muchas gracias to all the leaders on the mic listening to us.
Exactly. Another leader on the mic.
Muchas gracias, amigos. Gracias, Ana.
Listo, a ti, Cristo. Muchísimas gracias.